Hello.
Hello. How's it going?
It's going good. What's up with you? What's poppin', Shannon?
I have a crystal pressed to my forehead.
Ooh, that is so Gwyneth Paltrow of you. But why?
It's a spirit amethyst, and I keep it on my desk, and I decide to press it against my forehead. Did you know that rocks, no matter what temperature the room is, they remain cold?
What if they're next to a volcano?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I think that's probably something. I was thinking more that because it's not like a fleshy organism, it doesn't really absorb heat, but I guess it could if it was next to a volcano.
Interesting. Well, as I was saying, I don't know if you've heard this, but Gwyneth Paltrow, the actress, is really into crystals. I think, matter of fact, at one point she was doing like vagina crystals. I don't know if you've heard of this. Please tell me if you have. um, but basically, what they were I believe she was selling like well, basically that like rocks that you can put in your vagina, and they either cleanse you or, yeah, I guess you can give your vagina a spiritual cleanse. So that exists.
Or toxic shock syndrome.
Yeah, or
Um,
that.
that's weird. Oh,
um, she's also like she did an interview for a magazine lately. I think I saw a meme about this on Twitter. It was really funny. She was saying to a magazine about she was talking about her morning routine, I think, and she was saying how she drinks like natural alkaline water with a spritz of lemon juice. But if you add lemon juice to alkaline water, it makes it no longer alkaline, and so that's fucking stupid. And someone on Twitter basically like echoed that sentiment. They were like, the bullshit people will buy from celebrities is like unbelievable. Um, so that's
wow.
Gwyneth. um,
Yeah.
Hi everyone, welcome to episode 35. Boop, boop. I'm gonna need to insert a sound effect there. Episode 35. Wow, we're only 5 away from 40. 40 is an old age. I'm sorry to all our 40+ year old listeners. I just called you old, but anyway, welcome to episode 35. We appreciate you being here and giving us the time of your day. You shouldn't, but thank you. And today we're talking about, what is it that we're talking about, Shannon?
We're talking about Gwyneth Paltrow and how she's actually an alien.
Well, that's gonna come after the main topic, which is gonna be just evil aliens overall, or aliens with evil intentions, which kind of the same. Um, uh,
Aliens that want to
30,
fucking kill us.
basically. So, Shannon, would you like to get us started? I promise I'll get us started next.
Um, I would love to, but you're kind of throwing me off here because I had so many like intentions of just like joking and dicking around for 30 minutes. Now I have to be serious, and that's just like, ugh, ugh, just kidding.
Can
I'll dick
you,
around
can,
anyway.
yeah, can you like readjust the desire to dick around by 30 minutes?
Readjust it? I don't know. What if I don't have the energy to dick around after this?
It's okay. I'll pump you up. I'll say some funny things. I'll tickle you through the internet. Something.
Okay, so I did deep research. Like, that's kind of why I'm saying, like, this is not going to be a joke, guys. This is serious. It's happening. It's happening right now. I am actually being controlled by an alien. Also, can we talk about my face reveal on Twitter? Because if you missed it, then, well, sucks for you,
Yeah.
because that is me. That is my truth.
Can we talk about that? So, on our account, I found this image and I sent it to Shannon. She said post it because she thought that, that I mean that's her. That literally is her. And we wanted to do a face reveal, so we finally did it. For those of you who haven't seen it, the image is basically Miranda Cosgrove crossed over with an alien from, I believe, an episode of Doctor Who. Pretty spot on. Like, I mean, basically that's a mirror. That's a mirror of Shannon's face.
Yeah,
So
it's crazy. Like, I put it next to photos of me and Andre, and I was like, wow, like, that's me.
uncanny.
Yeah, it's crazy. So,
Um,
there it is. You know what I look like now.
So yeah, I'm the only one who's left. I think one of our listeners knows what I look like because like I accidentally I accidentally replied with my like personal Facebook account to a comment on our Scary Talk Facebook page. But beyond that, I don't think people know what I look like, so I have to post something on Twitter. We'll find something good.
Yeah, and that was pretty embarrassing too, right? Because your profile image is your nudes.
Yeah, I know. It's just I had to change that up. I know, I know, I know, I know.
Now that's the real scary talk.
Oh,
So
fuck you.
let's move on to something scarier. All right. I guess there to clarify things, like we usually talk a lot about alien sightings slash UFO sightings slash abductions, but we never really talk about aliens actually doing anything like truly horrible. Like unless you consider like probing your butt horrible, which it is. I'm not trying to demean that. That's terrible. But let's talk about aliens that violently assault or try to kill you, because that's what I'm curious about. And you know what? I grew up with movies like Independence Day, where you kind of get this expectation that aliens are coming here to do something bad to us or take over our planet. And lately, it's like I haven't heard anything about that, so I was really curious as to see what's out there and what's really ticking in people's brains. And shockingly, shockingly, there's not a lot of information on people believing in aliens that want to kill us anymore. And if there is, it's normally just like a sentence of like Stephen Hawking saying, "Yeah, they're gonna kill us all, and we won't even know because it'll be like cowboys versus Indians or the colonization." And it's like, yes, but what else? What if there was more? What if there's something deeper? Why aren't we talking about the biology? Why aren't we
That
talking about
is
the movie Alien, which the 20th
that's
anniversary is coming up?
That's a great point. And I do think that it's bad that people no longer think of aliens as these kind of dangerous invaders. At least that's not the general feeling that I get from the zeitgeist. Maybe that's what they want us to think. Maybe there are aliens in the government, think reptilians. Maybe not reptilians, but some kind of alien. There's a lot of aliens in the government, and they're priming us with movies and different types of media to make us believe that aliens are not dangerous. And when they come, they'll come in peace, and they'll be friendly, and they'll be loving and caring, when in reality, all they want to do is make us have our guards down for when the aliens actually come and they enslave us all. So,
Yes, exactly. And you know what? The movie Arrival, phenomenal alien movie of our time. I'm in love with those freaking elephant alien monsters. But let's talk about evil ones, okay? We don't need to be primed by Arrival.
yeah, yeah,
Hawkeye is
like,
never
yeah.
going to love me.
I mean, amazing movie. Like, your faith could never. Amy Adams is a queen, but that movie is a bunch of tomfoolery. Okay, aliens are coming here to kill us, enslave us, eat us, etc.
Okay, good. I'm glad. I hope that you actually have stuff that's like on that.
I have some stuff.
So I want to give some context for what we're talking about, and because I don't feel like we have in the past, I feel like we kind of just jumped into aliens. So I want to give some context for why we haven't found aliens yet, what kind of aliens are we looking for, that sort of thing, because I think it just sets us up even better to understand why I'm approaching this evil alien topic, if that makes sense. So without further ado, are you ready, Andre and listeners?
I am so ready. Probe me.
Perfect. Okay. So, this is from theoutline.com. Um, you're going to love this title. The title of the article is "The Aliens Will Probably Think We're Too Dumb to Kill" by Drew Millard.
Okay.
So, this was published February 25th of 2018. I have a lot of articles coming from a lot of different years, so here we go. So, in 2018, there were 436 sightings of UFOs, and that's a lot. I don't know how many there are in general, like across the years, but if you just think about the fact that 436 people like cited this, documented to the National UFO Reporting Center in 2018, which was just last year, I wonder how many are happening this year. You know what I mean? And so this
Yeah.
isn't something that's stopping, whether you think it's real or you think it's not. These are still happening. It's not just a 70s, 60s thing. It's going on today. So I want to talk about Michio Kaku, who I don't know if you've heard of him, but he is
No.
a theoretical physicist. Oh my god, Andre, I can't. Michio Kaku is my life, okay? That's not even like an exaggeration. Like, if I could just like rub his head and make him tea, I would. Like, he's a genius. He's in every single sci-fi documentary that's ever been made. He's so smart. Anyway, point made. So in this
Got
article,
it.
the author talks about a theory by Michio Kaku, um, and he basically is talking about his new book called The Future of Humanity, and he didn't ask me anything on Reddit. And so something someone asked was, what do you think will happen if we make contact with aliens? And so he said that he wouldn't be surprised if we made contact with some kind of extraterrestrial civilization within this century. Now I'm wondering, so century is 100 years, so does he mean by 2120?
No, no, I think it means like the century we're on, like the 21st century. And actually, to me, that sounds
That's what I
pretty,
was wondering. Okay, yeah. So I'm
yeah,
hella
pretty spot
stupid,
on.
but I had to ask it. Okay. So it's at some point in the 21st century. So Kaku's answer came with the caveats that A, if we receive a radio message from an alien civilization, it does take a really long time for radio waves to travel vast distances in space. So if we responded, it might take a while for a message to get back to them. And B, any alien civilization that is capable of landing, and this is a direct quote, capable of landing on the White House lawn and announcing their existence, probably wouldn't bother doing so because in order to travel to Earth, they would need to be so much more technologically advanced than we were that they might not even recognize us as intelligent life. And that's savage and brutal, and I love it. So that's some context for what's going on now, and kind of one theory into why we haven't met aliens that want to kill us. I just thought that was interesting. So,
Yeah.
and then to give some more context to this alien theory and why maybe we haven't encountered them yet, I want to just briefly touch on something called the Great Filter. So, this article is called Is the Universe a Graveyard? This theory suggests humanity may be alone, by Matt Davis, September 10th, 2018. So, there is something called the Drake equation, which I'm sure you've heard about. It describes the number of alien civilizations in our galaxy with whom we might be
Yes.
able to communicate. Yes, and it's really weird. So it's like n equals r asterisk times something something something. And it's basically a measure of how many stars with planets that could possibly support intelligent life. And so the result is at least 20. So at least there could be more. So this guy Matt Davis who wrote this article, he poses this question that was called the Fermi paradox. A physicist named Enrico Fermi, he examined the contradiction between high probability of alien civilizations and their apparent absence, saying, "Where is everybody?" And then
Mm-hmm.
the author says, "Well, what if the question isn't where is everybody, and what if the question is what happened to everybody?" So that is where we bring in the Great Filter. So
Mm-hmm.
the Great Filter is just a broad way of saying it's not a specific thing. It's just encapsulating this mass amount of theories of why there could be no one else. And it's basically saying because that we live in what is it, the Goldilocks zone, which is the band
Mm-hmm.
around a star where it's neither too hot nor cold for life to exist, which is we're really lucky to be in that space for life to have formed
Mm-hmm.
on Earth. It's saying that that's part of the Great Filter, that so many planets aren't capable of that, and so they'd never develop life. There's other ones like black holes getting crushed or becoming life, but then ending for some other random reason. So that there's a
Mm-hmm.
filter that's constantly making it so even if there's life existing, it doesn't last long enough to ever reach a point of crazy intelligence to travel through space.
I
And
mean,
it's
it's
possible.
believable. It's believable, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
like even when we went through, and we've had more than one ice age, but say whatever, like the biggest one that we had, like I'm sure the probability must have existed that life may have never returned to Earth. It did, but
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and one theory is that life might actually evolve to be the level we are at right now. But as you can see from our own planet, there are things that happen to destroy even advanced societies, if you can call us that, which is we discovered nuclear technology. What if we all bomb each other and we die? Like, what if that happened before to another planet and that's why we don't have contact with them because they freaking killed themselves?
Yeah, I mean, that's
Like,
also
yeah.
plausible. Like, the great filter is just too good a theory to dismiss in any way, and it's kind of scary because then it means that unless we really get our shit together, we're gonna be the next. Like, that we've gone through a lot of filters, but eventually we're just gonna stop. We're gonna hit
Yeah.
a filter that we're not gonna be able to get through. For us, it might be nuclear war, and then we're all gonna go extinct.
Yes, yes. And so I think the great filter is something really important to think about when we're talking about aliens at all, so that's kind of why I brought it up. But it's also a good way of thinking, well, if this keeps happening, if there isn't any intelligent sorry, if there isn't any intelligent extraterrestrial life out there that's going to come to, like, experiment on us, then what is the aliens people keep seeing? And I think that just draws back to our original, well, not our original, but one of our theories that it's just future humans traveling to the past. And that also coincides with the idea that it's way easier and faster to travel through dimensions than it is space. But I don't necessarily want to touch on that too deeply because that's not evil
I mean,
aliens, but I just want to bring it up.
yeah. To reiterate, though, I think now, like modern Andre, I think that's what I honestly believe aliens are, which is, I know, super super duper whack, but like, um, yeah, like, so yes, we're not talking about that, but now that you mentioned that, I just wanted to like make that reiteration. Go ahead.
What if the future alien that's coming and probing you is you from the future? Is that just
Oh
okay then?
no, no,
Is it fine? Is it just like a masturbation if they steal your sperm?
it is not fine.
Well, future you begs to differ. Okay, so now I want to take that segue from the context to the spookier part of what's trying to kill us. Well, for one, heart disease and McDonald's.
True, number one killer in the USA. Anyway, go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, and now vaping, apparently. They don't really know what's causing it, but, just don't put things in your lungs, I guess. Okay, so from National Geographic, so wow, we're going somewhere that's actually reputable. Can you even believe it?
I
Um,
can't. This feels wrong.
I know, right? It's like I can't trust something unless it was made with like a old 2000s
Yeah, like
hosting
website, like early
website.
2000s website, or I read it on Reddit,
Yeah.
or like my uncle told it to me. Yeah, like something like that.
All right, so this article is called Stephen Hawking's Most Provocative Moments From Evil Aliens to Black Hole Wagers, and it's by Michael Greshko, May 2nd, 2018. So here's something that I didn't know that he had said because we all know that famous quote that I already brought up earlier. But I like this one. So it's called, like, there's a header and it says artificial intelligence, godsend or doom. So Hawking voiced alarm over the downside of artificial intelligence, aka AI, which he feared could pose like a threat to humanity. And so what he said was the development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race. It would take off on its own and redesign itself at an ever increasing rate. Humans, who are limited by slow biological evolution, couldn't compete and would be superseded. And so, what I was thinking with this in particular is if you had to go and take out a planet or whatever, you could send your AI. And so and I've seen other people on Reddit say this too. It's like the aliens aren't going to come over here and travel all these years through space. They're going to send their little cyborg killing machines. So it'd be kind of like Terminator, but I don't know what they would actually look like. But that's one option, is evil robots acting on the accord of aliens, which would be fun. And then I have this theory, which is perfect because I was just talking about how we always talk about grays. So this is actually a book. So I'm going to read you the summary because this is just something I want to talk about. It's not something I researched because I think it's kind of ridiculous. So the book is called Gray Aliens and the Harvesting of Souls. Colon. The conspiracy to genetically tamper with humanity. This was published in 2010 by Nigel Kerner. Um, Let me read this to you. So, in 1997, Nigel Kerner first introduced the notion of aliens known as Greys coming to Earth, explaining that Greys are sophisticated biological robots created by an extraterrestrial civilization they long since outlived. So, in this new book, Kerner reveals that the Greys are seeking to master death by obtaining something humans possess that they do not: souls. Through the manipulation of human DNA, these aliens hope to create their own souls and, thereby, escape the entropic grip of the material universe in favor of the timeless realm of spirit.
Wow, amazing and deep. We love that. We stand.
Do we? Do we?
I mean, listen. At least they're trying to beat death. They're not nihilist fuckers. That's good, right? I
I
mean, don't we want to
guess.
beat death? I mean, I know you don't want to beat death, but you're weird. So
Okay, but this is saying that some ET civilization created these Greys, and the Greys want to survive, so they're altering our DNA, and it just gets weirder and weirder. Like, the summary just, like, totally falls apart from here. He says that the Greys have been here since biblical times, and they are the reason that things like violence and greed exist, and racism was developed by the aliens to prevent their genetic experiences from being compromised, and Hitler was like a pure product of aliens. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, this is what it says, and that's
I
kind of
mean,
why I'm like, what the hell?
you aren't saying anything that I find unreasonable. Literally, all of this is true, and we all know it. So I don't know what you're talking about.
You think Hitler was a product of this alien intelligence?
You don't?
Wow. Okay, so that's one theory.
I mean, we already know that the Nazis like were helped by aliens as far as technology
were they?
goes.
Okay, I don't actually. I don't think I've ever researched that.
Wait, does that
But
mean that aliens are anti-Semitic? That's fucked up.
they invented racism, apparently.
Damn. Never mind. We don't
Yeah.
stand. We don't stand this much anymore.
Yeah, no, we do not. Um, so now I want to pull from that colonization theory, which actually makes a lot of sense, but I want to talk about a few of the ways in which this could go down because there are different ways. So one theory of why this would happen, which is kind of interesting, is that it would be a civilization policing other civilizations and seeing basically that humans are. I don't know how to say this. Humans are assholes and they don't deserve to have their planet, and they have all this nuclear technology and they're causing all this pollution. So we're just gonna blow that planet up and
I
save the rest of the
mean,
galaxy from
listen,
humans.
humans are assholes. So we have given the universe Celine Dion. We have given the universe popcorn. We have given the universe Chuck E. Cheese's. I don't think we're all that bad.
We didn't give Chuck E. Cheese to the universe. We didn't send a Chuck E. Cheese out there on a floating ball of rock.
No, but is there a Chuck E. Cheese in any other fucking part of the universe? I don't think so.
Do aliens come and visit us just for Chuck E. Cheese and Celine Dion?
You don't think so?
Anyway, so the SETI Institute is Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. That's what SETI is called, the SETI Institute. So Carl Sagan, who is a researcher for SETI, he believed that in order for a civilization to come to Earth, they must have been able to transcend all kinds of wars. And so they would be an insanely aggressive type of alien that would have absolutely no interest in hanging out with us. So that's his theory, which I kind of like. The like transcending all kinds of wars and like winning all those wars to get to us, to kill us too. Like that's kind of like, yeah, like that's so edgy. I live for it. Okay, and then another theory is that highly advanced civilizations would come here to enslave humans just as a way to solve problems of labor in their own environments. Which, I mean, slavery, we all know that's going to happen.
I guess that's possible. I don't see how much knowledge they could possibly harvest from us if they're advanced enough to be able to colonize us, though.
Well, not like knowledge, they just want us to like do their dishes and like babysit their kids, you know?
Oh, okay. They're using us as maids. Got it.
Yeah, slaves. Or like we could pick like whatever the equivalent of wheat is on their alien planet for them, you know?
Um, Wheat with an X. Sweet.
There is a lot of talk online from SETI. I don't. There's a former SETI Institute person, employee, I guess you could say, who said that that aliens probably wouldn't want to eat us because there's too many differences in our like biochemistry, so we don't know what eating us would do to them physically.
I
So
mean,
the whole like, yeah,
unless they have pretty weak stomachs, I think that'd probably be fine. Like, just think of all the things humans eat that we don't even know if they're good for us and we keep eating them. Splenda, hello. So.
I don't know. I feel like humans wouldn't taste that good. If I was an alien, I would probably go for like the zebras or
Why?
the cows are
Why?
pretty
Why
good.
exactly?
What?
Why
Why
exactly?
would I go for the zebras?
Yeah.
I don't know. They look really meaty, don't they?
I mean, why not just horses though? Zebras are weird ass fucking black and white horses.
I guess they could go for horses. Animal rights activists are shaking in their boots right now. I'm talking about aliens, okay? I'm not going to go out and eat a horse.
Okay.
So here's one theory that I found interesting and kind of off kilter. This is from Outreach, I think it's called. Anyway, it's called Scientists Say Space Aliens Could Hack Our Planet by Seth Shostak. So this guy, astrophysicists Michael Hipke and John Lurend, argued about this kind of and talking about how it's possible that aliens would be able to hack our systems essentially and do things like take control of our nukes and make us and kill us that way, you know, or just cause mass chaos or steal our passwords and bring down our culture, like all sorts of crazy things. Or even like create nanobots or viruses and just, I don't know. Basically, they can hack us, you know?
Okay.
You're not scared.
No. I just don't buy this. Like,
Why?
I don't know. Like, I think the slave theory is just much more like up my alley. Like that makes much more sense. Like what you're describing right now feels like a lot of trouble. Like, I don't know. Like
I
like I
guess. I
think
don't
they're
know, but it would also be really easy.
I I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I just have like my weird bias of what I think an evil alien looks like and what their intentions would be. Um, I don't know. I mean, listen, I'll keep my ear open. Go ahead.
Okay, well, here's my theory. If they're smart enough that they can identify us and be like, yeah, I want to kill them and like I have the means to do so and take over their planet, I bet you like killing us through our technology and like putting in the launch codes would take them less than like 3 seconds and we would be dead. So I think they would probably go for that. But nonetheless, it isn't as scary as them wanting to eat us, I agree. But also, I don't want to be eaten by an alien, so there's that.
I mean,
So,
if you had to be eaten by something, what would you like to be eaten by?
Hannibal Lecter,
Oh, it's kind of hot. Okay, but like young Hannibal Lecter,
right? What?
like young Hannibal Lecter, like Anthony Hopkins Hannibal Lecter.
I want Mads Mikkelsen Hannibal Lecter to just eat me alive.
Ooh, okay, sensual. Okay, go ahead.
Well, that's all I got for you. That's all, folks.
I like
What
it.
do you have for me?
Um, I have some stuff for you. I've just, it's, it's out there. Okay, I'm just gonna preface it with that. I also wanted to say again that like, just to reiterate what I already said. The slave one of yours, I like that one the most. I guess mainly just because it's the most terrifying. To like all of a sudden like aliens come, they decide to colonize us, and all of a sudden our existence is just kind of like like it's just dumbed down to just being like the slaves for these aliens. That's kind of fucked up. That would suck. So, but very eerie, very creepy.
It's like it's like you can't believe something unless it like fully terrifies you. So like if I told you that like I like really loved the movie Bridesmaids, you'd be like, I don't believe you.
I'd believe
I
that.
hate Bridesmaids. I fucking hate it. It's horrible.
Okay, well, Kristen Wiig is shaking, and I'm very upset now because I love it. So let's just move on. I have a couple things to talk about. First, I'm just listen. I want to give as little context as possible, just to shock you as much as I can. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I don't know if you remember when we were doing the Missing 411, you were like, oh my god, the YouTube videos are gold mines. Okay, well, for this topic of evil aliens, YouTube videos are literal gold mines. And I watched this YouTube video, and I just want to read you the description of the video. I'm going to say nothing else. Um, uh, Again, we're on the topic of evil aliens. Now, Shannon, hear me out, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So, gray aliens, right? Okay. Now listen, I'm gonna tell you the truth about gray aliens, who they are, where they come from, and what they're here
Oh
for.
my
Because
god.
we know they're
You know what this
here.
feels like?
What?
This feels like you're like in a dark room and you're like, about to do your Apple presentation in a turtleneck.
Oh my god, iPhone 11 just came out. It gave people like trypophobia apparently because it has too many dots on the camera. Anyway, spooky. Anyway, okay, now into reading this description. So, what about gray aliens? Well, according to this guy, his channel is called Viral Killer, and he has 250,000 subscribers. So he's not a nobody. This is from the video "Why Do Gray Aliens Abduct People?" published back in 2015. And this guy says, gray aliens are a very unique set of extraterrestrial beings that influence our world today. Feel free to stop me at any moment. By the way, gray aliens were created in parentheses cloned by the reptilian aliens as a slave race. Gray aliens are the most common alien being. Okay, actually, I need to stop there. Surprise everyone! Gray aliens actually come from reptilians. Shannon, did you know this? No, you didn't. So yeah. Gray aliens are the most common alien being that people speak about in modern times. Gray aliens, or grays, have become a modern day pop culture phenomenon. Gray aliens are said to stand anywhere between 3.5 to 6 feet tall with big heads and huge oval eyes. Okay, well, we know this stuff. We know they're tall and lanky and gray, and they're the masters of the skies, whatever. Okay, what this description basically gets to is their motive for being here and being hostile. It says that they're a dying race of aliens because they were not able to retrieve the successful forms of cloning from their masters, the reptilians. That is why today they perform extensive experiments with human reproductive organs and even create human/gray alien hybrids to ensure the survival of their race. Thoughts so far?
I'm interested in this. Keep going.
Okay. So, um, they literally have a like a Transformer style like backstory of like Viral Killer apparently knows exactly what happened to the Greys and what led them to like leave their planet. Like it's amazing. Like I don't know where this guy gathers his knowledge from, but I am like standing ovation. In a huge revolution, the Grey aliens broke away from their oppressive reptilian masters and are now in search for a new home. Created as evil beings, in parentheses, reptilians ingest negative forms of energy, the Grey aliens have many hidden agendas here on Earth, and because they are inherently evil, they continue to misguide the human population towards war and plunder. So, um, uh, thoughts? I mean, they basically gave us a fucking like, what the fuck is that planet called where the Transformers come from? Unicron, something like that. They basically gave us like I don't know if you've seen like Transformers 3, but there's basically like a war at the beginning of the movie, and it explains why the Transformers had to like leave their planet and come to ours. I do not know how Viral Killer got this information about the Greys, but somehow he knew about the huge revolution the Grey aliens like stood against their oppressive reptilian masters, and I am shook. So thoughts?
Yeah. Well, I like the idea that the reptilians are the masters because that's just funny to me. I don't know why. And greys are short, so you can just see the reptilians pushing them around and stuff. But I this still ties into that whole reproductive thing. Are they gonna like kill us or what?
Okay, right. Okay, so to the point of why they're evil, gray aliens, and once they left their planet, I guess they're inherently evil, actually. So again, as the description stated, they misguide the human population towards war and plunder because they just fucking like that. They like being negative and evil and malicious. Gray aliens, according to this, continue their search for a home because they had to leave their planet and have now penetrated deep into the social, economic, and governmental networks of our planet, plotting their agenda to one day rule our race like the reptilians once ruled the Greys. With many stories leaking out about gray aliens exchanging technology for human test subjects, they continue their search for the solution of their dying race in a new home planet to inhabit. Soon they will have ours. I added that last bit.
Honestly, let them have it. I don't care.
So that's how they're evil. Basically, they had to leave their planet because they disobeyed their daddy masters, and now they're looking for their own slaves, as they were slaves once to their masters, looking to enslave us like they were once enslaved. And that's evil and bad, and we don't want it.
They don't want to coexist with us.
I don't think so. Listen, I believe this 1000%. They're here and they're trying to enslave us. Also, they invented racism and violence and greed, and they're the cause for anything and all bad. That really bad shit that I took the other day, they did that. So,
They are the reason we're both lactose intolerant.
yeah, and they fuck with us somehow. I don't. They're putting milk in foods that shouldn't have it just to fuck with us. Just to fuck with us. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
So
I believe
that's
it.
one thing. That's one thing that I have so far. That the Greys are really evil. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was just aliens in general and kind of theories of if aliens come, like different ways in which they could be evil. So you touched upon, um, enslavement. So that's one of the things that I was going to touch on, but I basically have like four or five others, and I'm going to touch on those. So aliens come to Earth, gray or not, whatever. Although I wish they were gray, they're so cute. Anyway, so aliens come to Earth. What are their intentions? What are the kinds of things they could do to us? Well, besides enslaving us, something that I wanted to mention was they could just experiment on us. That'd be pretty shit. I don't know if you've seen the movie The Fourth Kind, but something kind of like
No.
that. The Fourth Kind is this movie with Mila Jovovich from Resident Evil, We Stand, and it's quote unquote based on a true story. Based is a very loaded term, um, but it's this like professor. She's in like Alaska, I think, and she's like a professor and like a psychologist, and she has patients that come to her clinic, and a lot of them have been like having like abduction stories lately, and so she thinks that like this little town of hers is being like swarmed by aliens trying to abduct people. Turns out that she's right, something along those lines, and basically like she gets taken eventually, or her daughter gets taken. It's really fucked up, and apparently this is all kind of based on a true story, so even more fucked up. But basically, like the reason it's so scary and evil, and not just regular abduction, is like when she's listening to these patients of hers tell her um, their abduction stories, telling her their abduction stories. They are not regular abductions. Like yes, they probe them, but apparently, maybe I'm confusing this with something else that I read. But I don't know if this is in the movie, but they take sperm samples and blood samples and also like put them in machines that like electrocute them. Like they're basically like the subjects think that the aliens were trying to test like either their pain receptors or pain tolerance, so it's like really fucked up. They basically torture them,
Yeah.
and they do the whole like Men in Black thing, as aliens always do, to try to make you forget. But these patients were apparently like able to remember all of this during therapy sessions, and that's basically the movie, I think. And That's one theory of what they could do. They could come and experiment with us. I mean, in the Fourth Kind movie is just one example of that. Like, you could theorize all kinds of ways they could do really fucked up things to us. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, literally, just think of anything. Like, like human life experimentation sounds really fucked up to me. I don't want it. Thank you. Next. So, what else is there? If aliens came to Earth, they could just straight up fucking eat humans. Um, um, uh, we eat all kinds of animals. Cattle is shaking right now. Um, Vegans rise
What
up.
would they eat us with?
A nice ranch dressing on top, I think.
Of all the things, ranch dressing? Are you kidding me?
Listen, I'm a stan of ranch, so I'm obviously biased. You don't like it? Fine, whatever.
It
I
has
respect.
buttermilk in it.
I know. I eat it in small amounts, and sometimes I don't eat the buttermilk kind. I'll eat the regular kind, Hidden Valley non buttermilk.
Oh,
Stop judging me. Anyway,
I'm not. I kind of am.
so they could just eat humans. I mean, think of how this is turning into like literally a vegan podcast, but like think of how like terrified the like animals that we eat must be before. Well, I don't know how sentient they are of their situation, but let's say that they know they're about to get killed. Like, imagine if that was us in like the cutting line, like the cows or the pigs or the chickens. Like, hashtag sad. So
Wow, you are literally becoming a vegan right before my eyes.
I already was a vegan for like a month, hunty. Okay, so respect. Anyway, like in all seriousness, that's pretty terrifying. Like, let's say that the animals that we kill are not sentient before we kill them, of the fact that we are about to kill them. Well, we certainly fucking would be, right? Like, I think we'd know somehow. We'd know, unless it was like Cloud Atlas. I don't know if you've seen Cloud Atlas or read the book, where it wasn't aliens, but basically there was this like big ass like factory with a bunch of workers in like future Japan, I think it was, and the workers were fed this like pink goo basically every day that was supposed to meet all their nutritional like needs, and it ended up being
Ew.
like people basically, and they didn't know that. They
Yeah.
didn't know that. So I guess that could happen, but I doubt it. I feel like I feel like if these aliens are violent enough to eat us, they probably just straight up put up in like fucking like factory farms. Just like we know our fate. That'd be terrifying. That'd be one fucked up way to die. So, what else could these aliens do? They could not eat us, but instead like dismember us in some other terrible ways. Like they could come here to use us for some kind of nefarious purpose, or to make us part of a system or machine of theirs, like some biosystem. I'm basically drawing this from like the xenomorphs in Alien. Like they either try to breed with humans or use them as like, I forget the word. Oh shit. Oh yeah, as like gestation machines. I don't know if you've seen any of the movies. Um,
Yeah.
Kind of like that. Like, yeah, like if you're ranking all of these, I don't know which one of the deaths is worse, but this one's pretty high up there, at least for me. Um, yeah, they could
I
either use
like
this as,
it. I like
yeah,
the gestation one because it's brutal.
yeah, yeah. I mean, a lot of people like it. This is a very successful franchise because people find that concept horrifying, and I do too. So yeah, that's pretty fucked. This actually, I mean, kind of a tangent, but also another thing that I was gonna touch on anyway. This leads me to, I think I've mentioned it to you before, the case of the guy that claims that he's been abducted by aliens, and that aliens have taken sperm samples from him, and then like abducted him again a couple times, and like shown him his alien hybrid baby.
Yeah, you told me that.
Yeah,
It's like,
so
what's the
that kind of
custody issue on that?
I think he's doing weekends, and then the aliens do weekdays.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and they just when they're done with the baby, and it's like the weekend, and they need to give it to the dad, they just like beam me up Scotty him down to like his house, to like his bedroom, and then like that's like, oh, are you oh, you're here, okay, good. Well, good night. Mwah. Love you.
Let's play Monopoly, guys.
So that's interesting. I tried to find more about that guy, that case. I couldn't find anything. I don't recall where I first heard about it. I just can't find the source or anyone talking about it. So it's really weird. It's like it almost disappeared from the internet.
Maybe you read it on the back of a bathroom stall.
Maybe. I mean, sometimes those bathroom stalls are informational. You wouldn't believe the kinds of things that I've read there. Anyway, what other terrible ways could aliens kill us slash do us harm? I mean, kind of. Well, no, it is different. Like extermination, just straight up fucking extermination. They're not here to eat us or use us for anything. They are just killing machines. They just like killing, or maybe they want to use the planet for the resources, but first they feel like they have to kill us. So they have to face no resistance. So that's the exterminator kind of alien. Think like Independence Day or War of the Worlds. War of the Worlds is also kind of like that biosystem alien that I spoke to a couple minutes ago. It's kind of a mix, just because I don't know if you've seen the movie or read the book.
Oh yeah, I've done
They
both.
like those fucking like vines that were, at least in the movie, that were like kind of like crawling all over the place. Like that was obviously like a form of like human, I don't know, energy or anatomy harvest, basically. So it would be kind of a mix, but really it seems to me they were mostly there just to exterminate us. And that's another pretty terrible way to go, I think. Independence Day, I mean, same shit, but much more comical. Also, Will Smith, we stand. Um,
Oh, Will Smith. Oh, you can have me. You can just have me.
um, the other one that I wanted to touch on, which I guess is kind of like yours, but not quite. Aliens could come here and enslave us, or they could just come here to colonize us with no intent to enslave. Like maybe they would just try to convert us to some, like. Well, actually, that's kind of bullshit. Like, I feel like colonization and slavery kind of go hand in hand, so it's kind of hard to separate those two. But that is something else that I did research, and I guess I
They
didn't want to skip it. What?
they would put us on human reservations, and then they would treat us the same way the American government treats the Native Americans.
Wow. This podcast is becoming far too politically charged with the Native American comments, the vegan comments. Literally, we're losing all our listenership.
Native Americans have been treated so poorly, and this is their country. Like, what the fuck?
Honestly, tea. Moving on. Can you imagine if like, if like back when like big groups of Native Americans were like bringing up their very valid grievances to the U.S. government, like decades ago when it first started, or actually even longer than that, the government was like, honestly, guys, you're right, and we're sorry. That's tea. Um, okay, I'm literally like I'm going
They're
so
just
off
like, yeah,
point.
we're just gonna go back to England.
This is fucking stupid. Okay, I need to move on. So, oh, this is a fun one. So, aliens that are just super violent. Like, just think. Actually, I had no like movie reference for this one, but that would be another kind of evil alien that I thought of, and that I thought would be really interesting. Just aliens that just come here to basically like gnash and kill and cut in half and fucking stab and impale and just cuss. I mean, maybe
Okay,
even for sport.
I have an idea with that.
Okay.
So I have this image in my mind of aliens coming here and just like wearing our skin and making fun of us doing like daily human things and like laughing and maybe making like your dog watch.
Fair. That does sound pretty excruciating. Um, so let me add that to the list. Let me scribble that down there. Um, oh, okay. So I guess the last one that I wanted to mention was just big ass fucking aliens. Think like Pacific Rim. Um, those would be pretty destructive. It's kind of like difficult to like pinpoint what their actual intention was. And again, I'm just going off of movies, so this is kind of silly. But it seemed to me like these things kind of just wanted to destroy and destroy and destroy until the kaiju warriors saved us all. We stand, and so that's kind of another way of evil aliens, kind of another theory that I wanted to touch on, the big ass fucking alien idea, like that concept,
Yeah.
that just comes here to, I don't know, to kind of just exist, but in the process ends up destroying a lot of things and killing a lot of people. Um, maybe
Hey,
eating.
what about small aliens? Like really,
Uh,
really small aliens that just want to
well,
destroy us, but they're just
actually, like
tiny.
the downside to that is, I did I see this somewhere? I can't recall. But the downside to this is basically like like bacteria-sized aliens that are like small and come in fucking swarms to our planet and kill us all, like like infecting us like with something some way. So
Yeah.
that's actually scarier to me, because it's basically the invisible threat. Um, yeah, that's kind of fucked. Basically, I mean, really, maybe it would just need to be a single organism, just one single organism of an alien virus that is really easily spread, and all of a sudden, like the whole world is just fucked. We're all dead. Um,
Or it just
I mean,
eats us up like locusts.
yeah, like I mean, or that, like our diseases already like our like super viral diseases that we've had like epidemics because of, like basically like pandemics, already work that way. They already are basically like they start from a very like contained spot and then they spread very easily and they kill millions and millions of people. So an alien being slash virus being able to do that really doesn't seem like that far off the map to me. Um, so that's kind of when I wanted to bring that up. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was scary. I thought it was evil. And that's the thing, like with the giant alien or the really small aliens, even if they're not evil, they're still so scary that I don't know. I just wanted to point that out. So those are kind of the theories that I have of what evil aliens could look like, what their different intentions could be, and what they could, yeah, basically like what they would be coming here for. Thoughts?
Um, I like it. I think something that came to my mind when I was thinking about ways I wanted to talk about this particular subject was, and I didn't touch on this because I don't know, but I am now. So we have this like generalized idea of what aliens should look like in our head, and I'm talking specifically about the Greys. But for some reason, when I think of like malevolent, evil aliens, I was trying to think of like lots and lots of different ways they could look that wouldn't really match up with that. So, like, what do you think about physically, like, an alien that's just like a big fat blob with tiny arms and just like this huge mouth with teeth? Or like an alien that's like really slender, like a noodle, but it also has lots of teeth? I'm just saying, like, we can't conceive of what something outside of this world would look like. So, I don't know if that would change anything, but I think it's interesting.
I don't think it would change anything. I do think it's interesting as well, though. Jabba the Hutt is scary. So are noodles. So I'd go with either. Like, I wouldn't like either. um, yeah. So that's what I have. Everyone, just watch out. Be careful. Aliens are here, and they're here to kill you, or experiment on you, or clone you, or make a hybrid baby with you, or
Call
possibly
you in the
eat
middle of
you.
the night.
Kind uh, um, so just watch out. Like, I don't know what to tell you guys. You know, they're here. We just don't know how dangerous they are. They seem to be pretty benevolent so far. Like, if you actually believe that they are here, clearly they haven't tried to destroy us. Or maybe our government is just doing their best to contain them in Area 51. Maybe the government's actually good. Shocker. I don't know. And they're actually trying to contain them so they don't kill us. So maybe we shouldn't raid Area 51 and ruin their plans or cause them any inconvenience since they're doing the very hard job of protecting the human race. You know, you feel?
Andre is just an alien. He's trying to throw you off his scent.
That's fair. Okay, well, that's all we have, everyone. Thank you for listening to episode 35. If you have any ideas for next week's episode, please DM us at Scary Talk or message us on Facebook. Wait, I said no. DM us on Twitter at Talk Scary or messages on Facebook at Scary Talk. That's the name of our page. And you can find us on all podcast listening platforms, so you can listen to us anywhere. We are on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, etc. Shannon, anything else?
If you're an alien, we come in peace.
Um, uh, Actually, aliens might come and piss on us. That wouldn't be fun. So let me add that
Ew,
to the
Andre.
theories. I'm writing that down. Alien, evil, golden showers. Got it. Period. Everyone, aliens are real. They're here. They're in your bathroom. So is the Mothman. And thank you for listening. We will talk to you next week. Good night.
Good night.